Thanks for joining me on Quick Business Tips. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact Agency. Today we are going to talk about endings. I want you to think about the last time that you went to a really nice restaurant. Maybe the appetizers were incredible, the steak was cooked to perfection, the waiter was attentive but not too attentive. And then it came time to pay the bill, and your waiter disappeared for 30 minutes. You had to flag down a busboy just to get your check, and then it turned out their card reader was broken. By the time you walked out the door, you were beyond annoyed. Now let's pretend that someone asked you how the new restaurant was the next day. What do you think you're going to talk about? The appetizers, the steak? No, you're going to talk about how annoyed you were because it took forever for you to leave that restaurant. And the reason that I know that that's what you're going to talk about is because there is a psychological concept called the peak end rule. And what this talks about is that human beings don't remember an entire experience. They remember two very specific moments. They remember what we call the emotional peak. This is the highest high or the lowest low. And we also remember what happened at the very end of the experience, even if it wasn't the highest high and the lowest low. So when we're talking about businesses in the service industry, whether you're a realtor closing on a house, a contractor finishing a remodel, or you're a consultant and you're wrapping up a long project, a lot of times the ending is kind of terrible. Now, it's not waiting 45 minutes to leave the restaurant terrible, but it's just not fantastic. And if human beings as a whole are programmed to remember what happens at the end, we certainly want to make every effort to make sure the end is fantastic. So for most businesses, the work is complete, you send the final invoice, you get the signatures, whatever it is that you need to complete the transaction, and then you send them an email that says something like, "Thanks so much, enjoyed working with you. Let me know if you ever need anything in the future." Oh, that's kind of wah-wah and not really memorable. So today, I'm going to give you 3 steps that are going to fix this problem so that you can build an offboarding process that is intentional and helps your clients keep talking about you for a long time. It's easy in the service business to start a project with tons of enthusiasm. But by the time you cross the finish line, some of that enthusiasm has fizzled out. Most of the time, you're exhausted and or looking ahead to the next client, the next project, the next paycheck, whatever it is. We see this a lot in real estate because a realtor might spend 3 months or more, sometimes it's 3 years, showing a client houses, negotiating contracts, managing inspections. Then they get to the closing table and the client has the keys. Maybe they take a quick photo for Instagram and then they're gone. They have moved on to the next client. And the client they've been working with for 3 to 36 months is left standing in an open house with a packet of paperwork that they don't really understand, and they're feeling abandoned because this person who has been guiding them step by step through every part of this process has just completely disappeared. However, if we're being a little bit more conscious about how we are managing our customer experience and really leaning into unreasonable hospitality, then your level of service needs to get bumped up during that last 10% of whatever your project is, so that you leave your customer feeling celebrated, secure, and completely blown away. This is what's going to make you memorable, and this is what's going to get you referrals. As with all things, having a simple framework that can be systemized is the perfect solution to almost every problem. So I have a 3-step offboarding protocol that you can start implementing today. Step 1 is that you want to celebrate your client. So before you send the final invoice or wrap up the project, that however you go about wrapping it up, what we want to do is we want to have a celebration, but not just like, congratulations, you completed your project. The first thing we want to do is we want to remind them where they started. So you have a conversation that starts something like, remember when we first met and you were so stressed about your tiny, outdated kitchen? Look at what you've created. You've done it. It looks amazing. Because if you've been following along for any length of time and doing your marketing messaging and your email sequences the way that I've been guiding you, you are their guide and they are the rock star. And as with every rock star, they want to feel like they have had a victory. And their victory in this case is the transformation that they got by working with you. Whether it was, remember how stressed you were about not being able to find your house before Christmas? Look at you. You're ready to move in 2 weeks before Christmas. You can hang your stockings and celebrate with the family, right? Remember when you were so concerned that you weren't going to have the basement complete by the time family came over for Thanksgiving? We're done 6 days early. Basement looks amazing. The kids are going to have so much fun. Whatever it is, remind them where they started and then celebrate where they've got to. And it's about them. It's not about, look at how great a job we did on your basement. It's look at what you did. So number 1 is celebration with a little flashback memory. Number 2, we want a farewell gift, and we've talked about this so many times, but I'm going to say it once more. If your logo is on it, it is not a gift. It is a piece of advertising. So do not, under any circumstances, hand them a closing basket with your photo on it or a cheap cutting board with your logo on it. Give them something that proves that you've been listening to them while working on this project. Maybe they mention their addiction to Starbucks, so you get them a Starbucks card with a really nice handwritten note that says that you want to cover the first week of coffee in their new house. Or if they've told you about their 13-step daily skincare regimen, you can get them a Sephora card and tell them that they deserve a treat after, the stress that they went through working on this project. Or you can get them a Yeti cup with their monogram on it or their logo on it. Just make sure it's not your name, your logo, your face. Whatever your farewell gift is to your customer, you want to make sure that it's personal and it is 100% about them. The final step to this framework is asking for them to help you help others. Because you are never going to get what you don't specifically ask for. But a lot of businesses, when asking for a review or a referral, it usually comes across as a little sleazy. And some people don't ask because they feel uncomfortable. So in this step, we want to reframe it. So instead of saying, please leave me a 5-star review so I can make more money, grow my business, become successful, reframe it in a different way. Instead, you can say something like, I've really enjoyed working with you. You know how stressful it is to try and find a contractor that you can trust. And there's someone out there right now feeling exactly how you felt 3 months ago. Would you be willing to leave a quick review sharing your experience? It will help people just like you find us so we can take care of them too. Now tell me that that doesn't feel worlds better than, could you leave me a 5-star review so that I can grow my business? Or could you please refer me to 3 of your neighbors so that I continue to pay my mortgage? Just a quick review. Our 3 steps are celebrating their win and reminding them of where they started, a no logo farewell gift that is personal and thoughtful. And the final step is asking them to help you help people just like them through reviews and referrals. When you take all 3 steps at the end of every project, every closing, every completion, you will stop just closing out files. And instead, you are going to create raving fans for your business because what you will be doing is making sure that the end of their peak end rule is the best part of working with you. So take a little time this week, look at your own offboarding process. What happens at the end? Does it end with a fizzle? Or are you finishing what you started with the same excellence and excitement that you started with? If it's more of a fizzle, replay this episode, really focus on that 3-step framework, and you will see a significant change in your business. I'm Jennifer Swineford. Until next week, keep finishing strong, serving well, and creating your own limitless impact. I'll see you next week.